Well. Another Monday night, another time where I sit down, get in front of a camera, and talk NRL fantasy and the week that was. I'm starting the intro a little bit differently this week around. I've managed to start the videos a fair few different ways to change it up, spice it up a little bit over the last 20 weeks, which is absolutely insane to say. And I'm starting it by saying there's a new king in town. King Gutho, you absolute bum, you're rubbish. DCE. Why did I ever insist on trading him? That long-necked bastard. Hopefully, I can say that on YouTube and podcasts, and hopefully JBFA, Jamie Brown, fantasy analysis guy himself, doesn't get angry at me. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Mitch, and welcome back to another video on the channel. 1066 with a round 21 rank of 294. I am so back. I am back like I've never left. Is this 2022, 2023, and 2024? Because oh my goodness, probably my best round of the season. And thank goodness the Dolphins had their bye, and that's what made it such a good week. I didn't have to watch Herbie Farmworth. I didn't have to watch Herbie Farmworth, and I didn't have to watch Herbie Farmworth. Thank goodness. DCE, 700 kick meters. Lou Brooks was a passenger out there, and that's why I bought DCE. It didn't help Manly win. Who cares about that? I could not care if Manly win another game, to be honest. As long as DCE is scoring well, I cannot believe I ever insisted on trading him. What a week it was, man. I got all the big dogs back in, just like many of you. Pretty much everybody owns Haas now. A lot of people own Isaiah Yo. Uh, who did we captain? I captained Terrell May for a net loss of like 4 points or something. I'd work all day, guys. Don't know if my math's correct. So pretty much all the captains scored the same, except if you had the Haas route for 1,066. I'm actually so stoked with that. It was one of these rounds, last night on Sunday night where everybody in the group chats and discords are posting their score and all this sort of stuff. And guess what? Let me tell you guys a little secret. Out of all the scores I've seen in the Discord, besides Mark Jessup, who actually had like the number one rank of the whole week or something in his head team, that's crazy. Good congratulations to him. I had the highest in the WhatsApp private group. I had the highest. I didn't actually tell people what my rank was because I hate being that guy. Like, it's all fun and games, but I can cop it when I do bad, but I can definitely talk some absolute rubbish when I do well. And yeah, I had a really good week. Guys like Fogarty, 67, just like obviously not all in base. He had two try sits in there, but he's such an easy watch. Even when he had a few negatives early on, a few guys are like, God, Fog's got some negative, and I just said, like he does, but he just accumulates points so easily. 67, stoked to own him. King Karaz, 85 with like seven offloads. Like, when are we going to nerf that 4-pointer? Like, it's all fun and games, but Jesus, like, two try 85 effort is absolutely insane. That was the euphoria that I had in Magic Round when I owned Karaz. It was a little less exciting yesterday just because of the sheer amount of people who own him. I'm just happy I jumped on a few weeks ago. Adam Dewey, absolutely killing it. 30 minutes at lock and then 30 minutes at 5'8". He's a freak. I'm so stoked I jumped on him with Brenton Vickery a few weeks ago. I think what did I get him at? 460K or something? Absolutely insane. The other option obviously was Turbo, who's doing good things. Angus Crichton, 55 trialists. Kind of why I bought him. It's kind of why I sold the person I sold to get him. If you know, you know. There is always a method to the madness, and it will work. I'm getting inside that top 1,000. I can promise you that. Isaiah Yo, a trialist 70, obviously had the try assist. Payne Haas, pretty low. Look, it was little bit unfortunate, but we can't help these things. I'm just happy to own. He will be going nuclear very soon. He's not injured, guys. He's made out of titanium. He will play every game for remaining of the season, unless his like leg falls off, and even then he probably only needs one leg, so it's fine. Obviously, I brought in Pat Carrigan, who look, the minutes was great. He played 70 minutes. He was on 33 at half time. He was on 40 and 43 or something, and then when he came back on for his second stint, he just had a lot of missed tackles. Like I think he had like three pretty quick. No offloads in this one, so Connor Watson, 51, will happily take that. Played 75% of the game at 5'8". And DCE. Oh my goodness, two 40-20s. A 40-20 when the siren went off. What an absolute jet. He knows I own him. Feti is a little bit of a worry, and that's someone I kind of want to have a little a deep dive. I think that's what the cool kids say these days. A deep dive into what I'm going to do with him. What are my options? What are my thoughts? And obviously, if we get rid of that, obviously, like I said, rank 900, 900, I wish, 1968. So I was actually 2,900. Obviously, you guys remember my video from last week, that abysmal round. My goodness, I cannot believe I'm reliving that. And we are on the climb. I made 1,000 ranks, and I promise I'm putting it out here. Anyone can listen to this. I will make the top 1,000. Obviously, my goal was to win NRL Fantasy 2025 and win it. But that won't be happening unless everybody kind of falls off a cliff and stops playing. And even then, I think I'm too far gone. So my goal is to get inside the top 1K. And I think I'll do it. To be honest, I think I'll do it. I'm going to take some more risks. I'm down to 4 trades before I trade this week, which is crazy. And guess what? I kind of want to go down to 3. I don't need to, but I kind of want to go down to 3. So like I said, it was the Dolphins bye last week. It was the best week of my life. So good. Thank God I didn't have to watch those guys play. They play the Warriors this week, and Herbie is going to be on the left, and he's going to be marking up against Dallin Watene-Zelezniak and Kurt Capewell. The last time Herbie played in New Zealand, I think he scored 100 last year, or like 90 or something, and that was not that bad because nobody owned him. And now yeah, I'm a little bit worried. I'm not going to be buying him. I can't buy him. I can't even buy him if I wanted to using 2 trades. I don't think, not with trading anyone, that I want to. And the other thing that we're going to get into in a little while in the video is about next week, with the Tigers buy and what my thoughts and plans are with Adam Dewey and who's a pod. So, Adam Dewey is a pod, and then Terrell, who everybody obviously owns. So one last thing I wanted to touch on as well is, as you can see, I have Joash Papali'i here. If you watched last week's video, I was pretty keen on Dallin Watene-Zelezniak as a cash out. I was always cashing out Latu Fainu. And I decided when Joash was named a fullback to take a risk on him, and bump down from Dallin to Joash. Dallin was like 270K. Joash was 230 flat. But just to put a little bit of extra money away in the salary remaining, just in case I had an injury, or I wanted to do a sideways trade, just gave me an extra 40 or 50K to make a move. Kind of want to make that move this week. Obviously, my team's super, it's pretty good. I don't have any Knights players anymore after trading that bloke that I traded out a few weeks ago. He shall not be named. So a little inside joke between me and Jamie Brown. But yeah, it's pretty much going to come down to who I want to play, and what I can sort of do. And looping is really difficult for me this week. Obviously, no Knights players, like I said. I've got Nathan Lawson, who probably won't play, so I'm just using him as the looper. But we've got Drinkwater and Nikora, and they both play in the same game, which is Sunday, last game of the week, right? Sunday, 4 o'clock. And with Lawson playing in Saturday, the middling game, or sometime on Saturday, whenever it is. I actually can't loop Feti either. I can't really loop anybody because he's going to lock. I could probably figure it out if I sat here and tinkered live, but I'm not going to do that right now. So just bear with me on that one. So yeah, looping for me this week looks a little tough. So that's that. So I've got to decide who I'm going to play. Obviously, all these guys, I can kind of do like a safety loop with someone, which is something that I'm pretty interested in. Katoa had a bit of a floor game. No Jerome Hughes, so maybe he's someone I look at kind of safety looping. I haven't really worked out all the ins and outs this week. Just yet, obviously had work all day, and then the work experience kid forgot to lift lockout again. That's like the 10th week in a row. I don't really know what's going on with that. Last week or the week before, it made a lot of sense to have a later lockout when they were giving everybody their 8 trades, but now like we should be pretty onto it. I don't really know the what happens to lift lockout. Maybe they just click a button and it goes, okay, open app. So I don't actually know, but you'd think that it would be a little bit more onto it. You lockout back in the day, a few years ago, even last year, used to open up by like 10 a.m. But yeah, back to it. Back enough of me rambling. So a lot of these guys I'm going to play in the top 13, whether or not I do a safety looper like a Katoa or someone who plays early, but I'm really happy with playing all these guys. Don't have Herbie, obviously, so that's going to be a tough watch. Um, But Connor Watson, I will be probably playing as well. Paddy Carrigan and DC for the vibes. So that kind of leaves me without no looping or whatever I do. It'll end up being like a Nakora or a Drinkwater, right? I think for Ketty, I'm going to leave alone and I'm going to touch back on him soon. And Joe Ash as well, he's an option to safety loop. He scored 43, but against the Storm, do I really want to use the loop on him, if that makes sense? So, yeah, to come down to probably Nakora or Drinkwater. At the moment, I'm leaning playing Nakora over Drinkwater. Drinkwater is so scary, man. Like he had a what, like a 45 point half last week, and then scored 3 points in the second half, which is so hard to watch. Like, luckily by that point, it was a little bit okay because he'd already scored the 45. So they play Cronulla in Cronulla, and yeah, it's pretty scary. Depending on who plays in the halves for the Cowboys as well, like he does a lot less kicking. If it's going to be like Dearden and like Tom Duffy, like he just doesn't do a lot of kicking. So yeah, it's all food for thought. But the guy I wanted to touch on was Fiketti. And now for me, he's made me what 180k. I want to say 170k. Is my math that good? No, I'm a bit of a robot. So, and he's in an interesting position now. Suo Wong's back. This was always inevitable. Obviously, I when I brought him in, I knew I would be trading him out. He's more than done his job. I think I took two of his scores, two of his 50 pluses. Um, he's served a real good purpose. But he's coming now. He's got a break even like 37, 38. So, obviously this is all done before TLT. This is, just me rambling on the top of my head. And with this 62k in the bank, it's not a lot. With four trades left, that's also not a lot, but that is so boring. And I'm looking at Fiketti going, oh, next week I'm going to have two Tigers players. So that means I'm going to have to play, the two guys who I don't want to play is obviously Lawson, number one, and probably Papali'i, number two, even though, he scored a 43. That's more than serviceable. But for this exercise, I'm going to say those two, right? The two cash outs. So that leaves me playing everybody here, everybody on my bench, and then, Nakora and Drinkwater with the two Tigers guys filling out the emergencies. So that's more than fine. More than happy to play Drinkwater and more than happy to play Nakora, obviously. That's fine. But it's Fiketti. I'd be relying on his score, right? So yeah, obviously he copped the HIA against Melbourne. I looped him. So, if you had to take that score, it is what it is. But I ended up looping him and started on the back row, popped the HIA, came back on, and then got subbed back off for Suo Wong. Obviously, it probably is Suo Wong's position. He's their right edge back row. That's kind of why I was telling guys last week, like I wouldn't be buying Piketty because I just don't think like now that Wong's back, I don't know what my camera's doing. Oh my goodness, hopefully. Sorry about that. We are not going to cut that out of the video as well. That's going to stay right there, Jamie. Enjoy that. Sorry about that, guys. That's what happens when you just do it raw, no editing. But I was telling guys to not buy Fiketti because he's only got the spot for a few more weeks, right? Like it's um Suo Wong's spot, and he's going to either play less minutes or go back to the bench and be like a middling forward, and like it's fine. Right now he's kind of serving as my 19th man, so that's more than fine for that position. In weeks when I have one on the bye, I have to play my 18th man. It'll be like a Nakora and Drinkwater type thing. So he's not really doing anything for Ketty. But I'm looking at that price and I'm just thinking, what can I do? Like, who can I buy? Who can I target? With 62k in the bank, there is someone, and I'm actually not going to tell anybody who it is, right? What we're going to do is we're going to do a little exercise on the run. I haven't thought about this yet, but I have 586k to spend if I use all my money. So that's from Jermaine Jolliffe down. Anyone from Jermaine Jolliffe, I can do one singular straight swap from Fiketti. And there's a lot of rubbish here, right? Like there just is. But there's also a few roughies who I think would do a killer job. And there is somebody that I'm looking at in this price bracket, and I'm looking at going, okay, Piketty straight to that person, and I don't hate it. There's a lot of people actually in this list, to be honest. Like there is quite a few, like even like Jolliffe, I think is really interesting. Um, Burton, like T. Woolton, I really like. There's a bit of point of difference. There's a bit of that, a bit of 19th, 20th man, 40-point guy. But it's just going to depending on what Fiketti actually does and what his role is. I think moving forward, it's not. going to be that good personally. I am being a little bit premature on that, but that's fine. That's kind of how I play fantasy, and I'm just looking at what I can do. Is Feti a straight swap to someone? There is somebody else too, Jermaine Hopgood at the price. I started with him at like a ridiculous amount of money, and now he's lost all of that cash. But moving to the prop rotation, I think works really, really well for him. Dylan Walker's starting, and he's not notoriously a big minute lock. He's like that impact lock. So with him starting and Jermaine Hopgood at the prop, he's going like 60 minutes to 65. And I love that. Hopgood's thing is never like what he's doing on the field, right? Like he's got dynamic scoring, which I think is like your offloads, not really tackle breaks, but like he likes to offload the ball, and they're just rubbish offload as well, which is just so that's kind of why I started with him. I thought, well, he's gonna be playing big minutes. He's priced at 55. Hopgood can average 60. Now he's had a dreadful season, but just him being on the field for 60 minutes is a plus, and not playing hooker. Like him being in the mid rotation, mid lock, I don't even put him at back row. I don't care. As long as he's on the field for 60 minutes, he's a buy. That's a little bit of advice from me. So I'm looking at him, and I actually think I save money on that, which is crazy. Humphreys as well is someone he missed the last week with a concussion. I think that 470K is an absolute steal while Latrell is out. So there's lots of options. I'm not advising people to do it. Like I said, we copped a lot of injuries the last 3, 4 weeks. Jerome Hughes in the first game was in for a massive score, or 60 plus probably, and then he tore a shoulder. So he's obviously a trade out. So it's tough, right? Like this is a perfect week, and maybe I'm putting it out to the universe because that's the right thing that I should do. This is the perfect week for me to not trade and just leave my team like as is. Probably make the decision on who I play out in Nakora or Drinkwater, and then wear it, right? Like what's going to happen? Drinkwater's either going to score a try and get 50, or he's not going to score a try and get 27. Nakora's going to score like 28 to like 70. Probably one of those two options. So I probably will play Nakora, just he's a bit of a pod as well. So that's kind of what I'm relying on, these pods, and that's kind of why I'm looking at Feti going, you're a dud now. I'm over it. I'm bored of looking at his picture in my team. What can I do to change it up? So it's not what I should do, but it's kind of what I want to do. And like I said, there is a lot of options in that lower bracket. Your Lockie Gowans, your Humphreys, Hopgood, Reece Walsh, Jolliffe. And let me go. Fine, I'll tell you guys. The secret, it's Jermaine Jolliffe, right? Like I'm looking at that. Like he's such a nice pod, and it would actually leave me like 1K left. And I could loop him this week, but like that's silly stuff. That's what's the word? Luxury-esque. It's a luxury trade, but that is so boring. Like don't go overboard with these big words, guys. Like you make that trade. That's what I'm gonna do. Jamie's gonna tell you, hold the trade. Like you save him for injury. That's boring. That is so boring. Like you want to have fun? I'll tell you. I was having fun when I had a killer week this week. That was fun. You know what's not fun? Not trading. Don't listen to those guys. So yeah, chances are I don't trade. That's pretty fair enough. Chances are I don't trade. But also, if you come back next Monday or next Tuesday when Jamie uploads these and you see Jermaine Jolliffe in my team, you'll know why. If you see not Teague Wilton. I won't be. Reece Walsh. That's a vibe check. I've already got two Broncos in my side. Why not make it a third? If you see, oh, look how cheap Tino is. I cannot believe I sold him at that price. That is a sham. Fisher Harris, 65 last week. Oh my God. That's why I started with him. See, there's always a method to the madness, guys. Always, always, always. Oh my goodness. Where was that when I started with him? Turbo, I won't be getting Turbo. Tanner Boyd, he's someone I'm also pretty interested in at the price. I think he's a really nice buy. He's going to be a 50 guy. He's going to be like a 48 to 51 type of guy. Perfect, like 19th man, 18th, 19th man. So he's also an option, which one I really, really like. Dave Fafita, we will all be starting with Dave Fafita next year. If he comes into the game at 36 average, you don't need to watch Jamie's videos next year to say, oh, is Fafita good? You just get Fafita. That's my second piece of advice. And I'll come back to this. If I'm still doing the videos next year and Fafita comes in at a 36 average, which is like 500K, then we will all be buying him. I promise you that. Sorry to get off track here. Yeah, there's a lot of options, right? So you guys don't really need me to go through each and every one of them. I think Humphreys is really nice. If you had a few extra trades, I definitely wouldn't be making more than two if you don't need to, right? Like, don't do what I'm going to do. That's silly. You'll regret it. But I think Humphreys could be a really good middling point. Could be a really, really good second guy to if you want to go up to a Herbie because you don't have a Herbie like me, and you want to downgrade someone to get some cash. I think Humphreys, your Galvins, they're really, really good. The Melbourne half is going to be really interesting, whether it's Jonah Pezzett or Tyrone Wishart. One of those two guys will be really interesting too. Okay, before we head off, again, I don't know how long this video has gone for. I did not have a plan at all, and this is why I'm having so much fun doing them because who knows? It's 20 to 30 minutes of absolute rubbish. Don't dislike the video. Give it a thumbs up. Like I said, next week, True Tigers, guys. So I have Adam Dewey and Terrell May. Adam Dewey, I'm going to hold. I think he's been killing it. Part of me thinks he's definitely going to keep this middle role, whether or not it's 5'8", halfback, or lock. He's their second best player. Taking my fantasy goggles off, so he will stay in that role. And at the price, I started with him ages ago. He's really nice pod. He's got some big games coming. Scored 49, and the Panthers absolutely dominated the Tigers. So it's the Lockie Galvin revenge game on Sunday afternoon. So I think Dewey, he genuinely might turn up. Like I've got some pretty big cojones in fantasy, but I might even captain Adam Dewey. Like he could tear the Dogs to shreds. Part of me wants him to play in the halves. Like Locke's cool because he gets the base. He makes a lot of tackles. Last week, 31 minutes, his first stint, he made 30 tackles or something insane. Like so he's very busy. But 5'8", like I love him when he gets his hands on the ball. He's such a jet. He's probably my favorite person to watch in my team right now, I think. Karaz is fun, but now everyone's got Karaz, so that's boring. Dewey is a bit of a pod, well, a big pod, so I like Dewey. So that's kind of what my thinking is with Feti is like, which definitely can wait a week, right? Like I'm just being a bit premature, just being a bit of a weapon, talking what can I do? You know what? You know what? This is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do to end the video, to make sure the video does good and just for the vibes of the viewers. How do I spell Jolliffe? Sorry about that one, fellas. Uh, Look at that. 1K left. This is how I'm going to end the video. Look at the vibes on this. And you know what? I can even loop Jolliffe too. Oh my goodness. That's where we're going to end the video. This one feels a lot shorter today. I don't feel like I rambled for that long, but it's because, like I said, we've got round 22. No one's got any trades left, or we're getting to that point where you're not going to have any trades left. And I'm not the person to ask questions to because I'm going to tell you, just make the trade. Like, just do it. That's what I'm going to do. So this video feels a lot shorter today, which is good because, you know, I need a break from fantasy. We need a detox. I need to go back overseas. As soon as fantasy season finishes, round 27 that Sunday, I'm booking a trip to Europe. Like, why not? I'll do what Jamie did. Just go to Europe and abandon you guys because that's what he did. So maybe I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed this shorter video. I think it feels maybe 20 minutes or so. I don't have it up in front of me. I don't even edit that stuff. I just send it right to the big dog and he does it all. So that's I'll let you in on that one. This one does feel a little bit shorter today. I did enjoy it. I'll see you guys next Monday. Maybe Matty T can jump back on. Who knows where that bloke is? I don't even think he watches football anymore. Let me actually say, you know what? I'm not going to end the video. Yeah, I gave you guys blue balls. Hopefully I can say that as well. Where did he go? Well, I'm in so many of these rubbish leagues. Where did Matty go? Yeah, Matty's down here. 1001. Nice. What did Jamie go? 996. Oh my God, gross. Can't even crack 1K, the big dog. All right, guys, that's where I'll end it. Have a good week. Thanks, guys.